All right, we're live. Welcome everyone to this amazing Penpot 2.0 ins and outs. We're going to have a lot to share. It was an amazing journey towards Penpot 2.0 that was released differently depending on not just your time zone, of course, but the fact that we had the SaaS deploy, but also the on-premise Docker images, or just basically the official announcement. But we could say that it was April 9th. That would be like the official date for years to come. So today we are celebrating 2.0. We're celebrating it in many ways. We are going to share with you what happened after we released 2.0, after many months of hard work. So we'll have that, and then we will do the we will share how you can make the most out of Penpot 2.0. So that is going to be useful content, and we will finalize with some cool demos. So let's start with what happened after we launched 2.0. So really what happened is that we received a lot of love. We had, we can share my screen now. Yeah, so here you can see we already had like the new website in place. And by the way, some of you might actually read yourself in some wonderful quotes. We had already experienced how much people were passionate about Penpot and what we were building, and how important to have an open source, open standards design and prototyping tool was, because it's a quite unique space, and it's also challenging in so many ways, also in terms of the technology and the focus that you need. So we were used to having that kind of kudos, but this really blown us away. So thank you very much, because it was before 2.0. We actually asked for a bit of support because the team was working very hard, and in a way they were stressed out. And we received a ton of love before that, and particularly after 2.0. So that has been amazing, and we continue to see how important and how much people care, sometimes even too much, about what we're building with Penpot. So that's something that we wanted to share, that it was a highlight of the year already, just in that regard. But then, of course, there were other interesting numbers and metrics that popped up. And one was I'm going to switch, and so you can see some interesting stuff. So this was the SaaS signups. Of course, we have the SaaS, so you can go to penpot.app and just create an account, or you can self-host. I'm just using this one. For you, those of you that know about us for quite some time, will know what happened during September 2022. That was when Adobe announced they were acquiring Figma. And we had an amazing awareness moment there. It was a 20 billion marketing campaign in a way. And this, despite the fact that, of course, that was like a singular event, and we were even better at the time, that gave us the strong validation that we were really the only real alternative to the existing monopoly in terms of design and prototyping. And then so that was readjusted. Obviously, that would happen. Still very thankful for that event. Then we had exiting beta. So that was the GA moment. That was February last year, and we announced that at FOSDEM, as we always like to do. And then kind of we didn't have any major releases, so we kept kind of stable, and then slowly went up until 2.0. Now 2.0 has something unique that I wanted to share with you, because there's this context that's always important. 2.0 organically surpassed October 2022, which was the next month to the Adobe announcement. So that, or to be able to organically be like equals to such a brutal event, that was something that we were not expecting, I think, so much. So very, very happy about that. But what is more important is that May, still a couple of days to end May, is showing, of course, we have release, and then you always go a bit down. That's the nature of things. But it's not going down as other times where you have a strong readjustment before you again pick up. So this is very promising, and this is really what I wanted to share with you. This is just SaaS self-host goes very linearly all the time, and so that is less surprising. I also wanted to share you another interesting metric that we keep track of, because we think that there's no point in building a design or prototyping tool that is meant only for designers. Penpot was always about representing our own ideas of how teams should work, and the company behind Penpot, Kaleidos, does have a different ratio between designers and developers. That is not 1-to-1, and neither 1-to-10, which is the typical. We have a 1-to-2 ratio. We have 1 designer per two developers, and we are aiming at having that. That is very unique. But what is happening with other design tools out there is that they are actually not onboarding developers at all. So they have a 1-to-1 ratio, with developers being quite casual in how they're using a design tool. So for us, it is very important to be successful, globally successful, to surpass 1.5 at some point, and then aim to 2.0. So 2-to-1. And you can see that we were, like, depending on the moment, we were close to that 1.5, and that happened with 2.0 release. Actually, we got, I don't know if you can see this, but it's 1.49, which I will take it as a 1.5. That's fine. But I wanted also to show you that we're not only happy about finally getting to that 1.5 ratio, so 1.5 developers per 1 designer, but actually, if you look at our other metrics that we have, still this is only SaaS. Self-host has a different ratio, which is even better. You can see that we actually had 2.08 during the week of the release. And then we are very comfortably surpassing 1.5 per week. So this is the strong signal that we are onboarding and welcoming the right way developers into the design tool and the design process. So this is super cool. And we will be discussing this in the future because the moment we get to 2-to-1, we know that it's going to be a game changer, and it's going to be so different, the whole dynamic. And designers are going to love this, to have developers really building stuff on design tool. Then we have other metrics outside. This is the support, like issue history that we have. Probably some of you know about OSS Insight. I wanted to stress how important it is to make sure that after release, we get a lot of new issues reported, like bug reports, and we were able to smash almost all of them in super quick. We had internal reviews on this, and it has been the most successful 2.0 release, the most successful release ever in terms of the quality or the speediness of closing back. So kudos to the team for that. And then we had a very awkward moment when we were looking looking at activity. Like, okay, we are having a lot of signups, and so we are building the audience. But what about, are they using Penpot really? Are they using Penpot? And yes, of course, we see a small spike there. So you would go from March here. So these are, by the way, this is what we call mega active users. These are users that are almost like obsessively using Penpot. So here you can see like it's 1,000. So these are beyond sometimes normal human being capability. But we want to keep track of this because that is a strong signal, like North Star signal, that keeps us focused. So this is by no way like just people normally using Penpot. Still, we had this, as I said, this awkward moment where we were not seeing the same spike as the other metrics. All of the other metrics were basically showing April as amazing, and this was just okay. So I want to share a learning that we had, and is how we were measuring these active users and why that was wrong with 2.0. So if you go to Penpot, this is a tiny user interface. So there's nothing really important here, but it's to make a point. When you go to something like this grid board and you change something, let's change edit grid, I don't know, some padding here, whatever. Note that we have this exclamation mark here before we get an OK. That is a file that is sending a file update event. And that changed with 2.0 because we changed the UI and we had grid layout. You could do more with less file update events. You could do more with fewer file update events. Like the number of transactions to arrive to something that you wanted was reduced by approximately 35%, 40%. That was how powerful the new UI and things like grid layout were. So then we go back to this and it's like, okay, now I can interpret this. What is happening is I've redefined a core metric because here we would ask for a super active user to have at least 1,000 file updates in 10 days over the past 28 days. So if you are looking for 1,000 file updates, now that metric has changed. We will see, we are not going to readjust this. We're going to pick another metric that is more robust across releases. So that's it for like the first part. I wanted just to share some interesting metrics, reactions, the momentum, all thanks to you. So we got both love and usage and word of mouth. And I think it's now perfect time to go into the next part, which is all about how to make the most out of Penpot 2.0. All right, so we understand that a tool like Penpot 2.0, let me just share my screen so it's already shared because it's going to be a lot of content. I'll go relatively quickly through it. So this would be, yeah, this one. Yeah. So the thing with a tool like Penpot is that it's relatively complex. It's a complex tool and it's not trivial to master. It doesn't matter whether you are a designer, UX, UI, professional, or a front-end developer, or just any user interested in creating something visual and having this relationship between design as code that was not possible before. The thing is that we're here to give you some pointers to interesting material, and we will sharing all these links just on the website. Sorry, on the YouTube channel now. So we have a tutorial for all the grid CSS layout. So that is one. We have a lot of content here. Let me just very quickly. By the way, if you cannot see me like watching, like looking at the camera, is because the camera is there, but what I'm looking at is here. So sometimes I'll say hello, but it's like the content is here. So sorry for that. I hope it's not very awkward. So this is a lot of content, and this is an interesting link that I want to share with you. Then, of course, we have I want to point out to some good examples. That this one by Jesse Showalter. Jesse here is actually using Penpot. By the way, he is a great content creator and he teaches very well everything around design code. And he's using Penpot to teach you the basics of flex layout and grid layout. So before there would be a typical code tutorial, but now he's able to do that just using Penpot alone, and everything stays perfect because the vocabulary and the capabilities are the same. So that is one. Then I would like to point to this URL. We have the Penpot files. There is this one called the one that called playgrounds. So grid layout playground.penpot is a wonderful place also to just import on Penpot and have that as a sandbox for you to enjoy grid CSS layout. Then we have the Penpot blog. It was recently launched, so even if there's a lot of content, perhaps a lot of you don't know about this. So please check it out, penpot.app.blog. Let me just focus on just one example, like Paula Tienza, 5 reasons why CSS Grid Layout is a key for designers. And she goes, to discuss why it's better for efficiency and why you can experiment freely and responsiveness and enhancements and all that stuff. So also a very, very nice pointer there. Of course, we have the user guides, and the user guide has grid layout information, and you can go here. It's very quite complete, with keyboard shortcuts and images and whatnot. Then, since Penpot 2.0 brought the new component system, we also have great tutorials by Clara, which are really, I mean, I would really recommend that you go into this because she explains very well the complexity, but also the easiness of using the new components on Penpot 2.0. By the way, if you want to know more about how that is built, wait until we discuss the Penpot AI initiative, because it's linked to the internals of the component system. So just a nice pointer there. Great material coming from elsewhere. Penpot CSS Grid Layout by Miko Y here on Smashing Magazine. Really tremendous content, you know, with tutorials, video. This is just amazing. Then information about the components, user guide, always good. The website is a nice place. If you're lost with so many resources, just go to the website and go here to resources, and you will find libraries and templates where you can download and re-import a ton of material there. Or, by the way, if you're interested in what's coming next or what we built, DevDiary is also a cool place to see the new features and everything. And you can see the evolution of the whole product. This is, in a way, a glorified version of a changelog in GitHub, but this is super convenient for you to just go around and see that. Again, the help center is there. Tutorials. We also have our PeerTube channel, and I think finally the community space, community.penpot.app. And speaking of community, we have I have a video by Carol. In 2 days, she's getting married, so she won't be able to. She wasn't able to make to the live stream, so she recorded a video, and we're going to show you that, so that you know more about how you can contribute also with content, ideas, code to make the Penpot community even better. So let's watch Carol's video.
Our good first issues list on GitHub. Hi, I'm Carolina. I'm the community advocacy on Penpot, and I'm here today to talk about our community and how can you help us to shape Penpot. So the first thing I want to talk is about code contributions. We just refreshed our good first issues list on GitHub. If you are looking forward to start, that is a good place. As you may know, we still don't have a plugin system, but if you're excited about that, just keep watching this live. We may have some news for you. Another way we love to get our community involved is giving them early access to our upcoming features. And so they can give us feedback and test the features before we even release. If you're interested in this kind of tests, just keep an eye in our community space, is where we usually look for volunteers. We just did a call for the design tokens partnerships that we are doing, and we may have some another one coming soon. Other easy way to contribute is just translating Penpot to your own language. We know the power of having the tool localized, so we just did an initiative where we translated for 3 Western African languages. And if you're a designer and you're still wanting to contribute, you can create templates and libraries and share with the community. We have the template and library page, but also you can create how-tos and tutorials. And in this sense, we're looking for audiovisual creator who wants to do a design with Penpot class. So if you're interested, just contact us, please. The less and easiest way of contributing for Penpot right now is just let us know what you think about Penpot, how you're using, where you're using, how your daily life, how we can improve. Just join the community space, come to talk to us, talk to the community, and be part of this great community that we're having. One last thing that I want to mention is we are working on starting to have Penpot local communities. So if you are looking for starting your own community in your area, just come to talk to me. I'm working on it. I would love to know what is important for you, what would you need, what you would like to have. So just contact me and let's see what we can do.
All right, thank you very much, Carol, and congratulations. As Carol likes to say, the first contribution comes with just saying hi. So don't be shy, and be happy to welcome and just say hi, any one of you that is already contributing to the community. All right, so with that, we end part 2 of what we wanted to share with you. So we already covered a bit of the reactions and the metrics, what we're seeing, the momentum, all thanks to you, of course. Then secondly, how you can make the most out of Penpot 2.0 with nice contribution guidelines. And we're now getting to the last part, which is what is next. So let's go there. Okay, so I hope that you're liking this so far. It's a ton of content, and I think the rhythm is the right one. But if you feel lost, just go back and watch the video. This is being recorded, so you can pause it and look at the links and everything. One thing that was very important, and you can imagine like a team after you build something so amazing as 2.0. that is delivering on so many promises is, okay, and what now? And one of the questions the team wanted to address, or one of the things we wanted to address was, should we continue the same way, building Penpot? Should we continue having a kind of sort of monolithic team building major releases that are very cool in the sense that 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, or should we perhaps change how we are building the product? And we decided that we wanted to simplify how we are delivering value through the Penpot building process, and have, instead of one monolithic team building interdependent features, irrespective of their value, we wanted to have kind of a team of teams. So we came out with this initiative system, and this initiative system is basically a way to split down that monolithic team into short to mid-term focus-oriented work and goals. So they are quite varied in nature. I'm going to just go through them very quickly, and we're going to show you some progress on some of them. So I hope that you like it. So I'll just read. I have a document here. So we have, for instance, the front-end integration tests, which is well, this here. I remind you that we are developing in the open, so you can always check what we're building. So this is our Taiga project for Penpot, and you can go here and actually just go through the current sprint and look real time at what we are building. So full transparency, it's not just about GitHub issues or anything. You can actually look at our backlog, the sprints, everything. So the initiative system actually has an impact on how we are considering sprints. But anyway, one of those initiatives that already share this tab instead. Okay, one of those that we already finished was the front-end iteration test. So you can actually go now and look at, this is very internal. So this is also a valid initiative. Things that improve how we build Penpot, not necessarily how we deliver it to the end user, but actually how we are building. And this, I'm just showing the amazing documentation by the team. But of course, this had an impact on the repo, and you will have seen many comments there lately. So how to write the test, everything, so that we have a better quality in terms of the whole process. By the way, if anyone is interested in the internals of how we work, this documentation might serve and prove helpful. But if there's other initiatives like the plugins framework, which we're going to have a demo in a minute. We have the improvement of the onboarding process, limiting the friction that any new user might experience when they are first, first coming to Penpot, whether they are designers, developers, or the stakeholders. We have a refactor of the components system, and then sub-initiatives there, like things like variants compatibility, things like that. Performance initiative. It is an initiative, that's an epic initiative, right? Performance is always something that will stay forever. So we are starting with the text editing then within that initiative. And then we want to also finalize the internal design system for Penpot. So of course, we are a design tool, and we love design systems. And actually, we have someone that understands a bit about that in very soon, having a chat here. And we want to improve on the design system and then implementing that across not only Penpot, but also the different initiatives with partners and the community that are happening at the same time. And then we have the Design Tokens initiative, which is building native support for design tokens on Penpot, and we're going. Then the Figma to export Figma to Penpot Exporter. That's another initiative. We will also show a little better demo of that, and the Epic initiative that is AI. And then we have another one, which is like the quality of life, which is basically making sure that you always get the best experience out of Penpot. So we decided to select 3 of these, which is design tokens, the Figma Exporter plugin, and the plugin system. And I'm going to be joined here at the stage, this virtual stage, by 3 people. And so let's go with, I think it's design tokens first. So Mike, are you here?
I am here. Good evening.
Good evening,
How are you,
Mike?
Pablo?
So just introduce yourself, and the stage is yours. I'll be here in the background, just enjoying what you have to share about our collaboration together.
Yeah, sure. I'll get into it. Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I'm Mike, and I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Hyma. Nice to see so many people here. Some familiar faces. Really cool. At Hyma, we are all about collaboration and innovation in the design world. And we started a couple of years ago with a big dream to build an open source ecosystem, that helps brands and teams to seamlessly sync their design data and design logic across the favorite tools and platforms that they use to create experiences. Our journey began with Token Studio for Figma, a tool many of you may know. And I'm saying this because Token Studio was the first tool to bring design tokens to designers and engineers in a truly collaborative way. And I don't think there was any tool that really did that before that, and that has transformed the way designers and engineers collaborate on design systems. So for those who might be new to the concept, design tokens are a way to store design decisions like colors or fonts or spacing in a central place. So from that point, we've been on a mission to bring designers and engineers and other stakeholders closer together through the power of open source tools that we are building. So we have a bold and exciting vision, and we are really excited to show a first glimpse of what native design tokens will look like in Penpot. We've been working on that together with the Penpot team. This will be fully compatible with the DTCG design tokens community group format to ensure seamless compatibility and interoperability between tools. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to incorporate all the powerful features that Token Studio offers today. Things like advanced logic operations, like math operations, flexible teaming without restrictions, of course, and things like color modifiers, for example. So our goal here is to create an experience that is meaningful for engineers as it is for designers. So that means engineers will also get access to design tokens within the context of design, making collaboration smoother and more efficient. And we're thinking big. We're thinking, of course, beyond just the web and mobile design systems. We are thinking about other applications like AR, VR, gaming, motion, and all these things that we need to start thinking about. What I'm trying to say is we understand the complexities of multi-brand, multi-platform design systems, and we are really committed towards building a very powerful, flexible, unopinionated design token engine in Penpot. So this is going to set us up for true scalability. So how are we executing on this vision? So besides the Figma plugin, many of you may know, we have been building an ecosystem of tools. And I want to quickly touch upon this because this is important for Penpot as well. So one of the cornerstones of our initiatives is our graph engine. And the graph engine is a very powerful tool that helps us define design logic in a non-destructive way. This means we can generate color scales or ensure accessibility in color logic, all by defining logic and maintaining that in an easy editable format. We have also adopted the development of Style Dictionary, which was earlier maintained by Amazon. And we have done that to ensure that this project, which had gone dormant, that we have a good open source design token transformation library that keeps existing. So Style Dictionary helps us to transform and maintain design tokens across different platforms to ensure consistency and reliability. And we're about to release the version 4, which is a huge upgrade from version 3. So please check that out. We also work actively. I'm an active member of the design tokens community group, which is creating the design tokens format, which is a specification that drives standards and interoperability between design tools, which will help us ensure a unified approach to managing design tokens. So all these developments and along with many of the other initiatives that we have, like our Token Studio platform, these developments are really, really exciting for Penpot as well, because Penpot will be the first product design platform to have native integration and experience with this entire ecosystem. There's no other tool out there that offers this seamless integration, and we're going to bring all that to you over the next months and years, of course. So yeah, this will totally remove the brittleness between the systems and allow design systems to and product teams to really boost their efficiency and have full confidence in the process. So yeah, I think we were already playing a little bit in the background, but let's jump into the demo. I think that's the exciting part. And let's remember, like all big things start small, right? So I'm really thrilled to show a sneak preview into what our team has been working on together with the Penpot team and the design tokens experience. So what you see over here is a new panel on the left. And keep in mind, this is a work in progress. We're showing a glimpse where you have your design tokens. And on the right side, you can see that a designer here is styling a card with design tokens. So you see we're bringing direct native access to the UI in your property panel. And we're currently having the dimension tokens in there, which are being applied, things like border radii and other things. And on the left panel, you can see also for that particular layer, which tokens are selected. You can create new tokens, edit your tokens. And we're currently rapidly expanding on the functionalities as a native experience in Penpot. So yeah, this is really, really exciting. Like I said, it's going to be a small glimpse. So this is all we got to show right now. But we are going to be posting regular updates through our channels, through the Penpot channels, as well as our channels. So stay tuned for more updates. We will be opening in the next couple of weeks a playground, which is a separate instance of the Penpot applications, which is continuously deployed with the latest updates that we are building on design tokens. So if you are interested in testing it out or contributing, please reach out to us. We are super approachable. And we would really love to hear all your thoughts, questions, priorities, even on any of the other things I spoke. If I left you with more questions than answers, please reach out to me during or after the event, and I'm happy to elaborate on any of these topics. So yeah, back to Pablo, I guess.
But before, don't go away, Mike. So amazing update. I think people this probably is within the top 3 most requested capabilities. It's beyond a feature, right? It's a new dimension for any product like this to have this natively integrated, and going beyond that, thanks to being natively integrated. But I have to say, and I mean you will agree with this, that it's such a pleasure to work together. Like you can see the Token Studio and the Penpot teams on a daily basis. Then we have the weekly catch-ups. It's just, I don't know, harmonious. It's very respectful environments, very passionate, like mission driven. I think that is, and when you have that, then yeah, the sky's the limit, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's been brilliant from the first interaction. Actually, the moment I realized that there were so many alignments on the bigger vision and the longer vision, it just became so exciting to go down this path together, right? So I'm super stoked about all the innovation that we will be bringing in together. So yeah, really exciting time.
Well, I have to say, yeah.
So I think it's just so important that also what is the beauty for me is that we are able to do this open source, right? So we are 2 different companies with 2 different open source products, And we're able to bring this all together. And I think this is quite unique. I haven't seen this happen many times before in this way. So I think this hopefully also inspires other open source creators to think about, the ecosystem and integration. I think that will really drive us forward.
Absolutely true. And also, I think this kind of collaboration between design-focused open source projects could also serve as not as a blueprint, but at least as an inspiration for more design contributions coming to open source. Like it's the way we're building this. I think we will be able to share our experience in how you actually contribute design, UI design to a tool that exists, but like opinionated, because it's also about features. So I would like to see more of that, and I would like to see our collaboration bringing the new processes to open source in many ways, but particularly related to getting design contributions right finally. So exciting in so many ways. So thanks a lot, Mike. Thanks for coming to the live stream today, and see you tomorrow. Don't forget, we have a
yeah, we definitely do. All right. Yeah,
All right.
It was nice being here. Thanks, everyone, and
thank you.
have a nice rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Mike. All right. So super cool working with Token Studio. And now we have another collaboration with a Spanish company called Random, and they are working with us in building something quite relevant and also sought after by many of you, which is the tools that allow you to export existing work, existing designs in other tools to Penpot. Now, there's always going to be some loss in translation, and it's almost impossible to have perfect copies, from one tool to another. But at least allows us to give people the incentive to try out Penpot with something they already designed themselves and compare, whether it's ready for them or not. So it is easier that way. And of course, there are people that already decided to switch, and they want to move everything they had, even if it's not perfect and it's going to be kind of legacy. They still know that they can migrate most of it to Penpot. And since Penpot uses SVG and CSS and HTML standards, they know that migration is actually is allowing all those that work to live in a better place, right? So I'm very excited to share with you a demo. This is a video I'm going to play. And this is one of the developers, Alejandro, showing us a sneak peek on what's coming next. This is going to be ready for you to try out very soon, like in a few weeks. So so it's still in the works, but you can already see how it's working. Why this is important and why we selected the Figma Exporter plugin is because it's very obvious where the monopoly lies, where a lot of people are coming. Our metrics, I didn't show you that, but it's very obvious where new users are coming from in terms of what tool you were using in the past. So we will have to address this for many tools, but this was very obvious for us to begin with. So let's play Ramroom's short video on work in progress for the plugin.
Hello, Penpot community. I'm Alex from Ramroom. Today we're excited to demonstrate the Penpot Exporter plugin, which allows you to seamlessly transfer your Figma files to Penpot. While the plugin is still under development, we are excited to show you what we've built so far. So, as you can see, we have a test file here in Figma, which we're going to export using the plugin. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. So first, we need to run the Penpot Exporter plugin from Figma. And if we have custom fonts installed, as in this file, we'll need to get and paste the corresponding Penpot IDs for these fonts. The plugin has linked a tutorial which will guide you through the process. Once you're ready, just click the Export to Penpot button, which will then generate a zip file ready to import to Penpot. So, now that we have the file, we can go to Penpot, and then we just need to import the the file. And then once the file is imported, you're ready to start working there. So here we have our file. Since we're still in development, some stuff from Figma is still not supported, but we'll be working on it constantly. The Penpot Exporter plugin is now available in Figma, and we invite you to give it a try. We'll be posting updates in the Penpot community, so feel free to join the conversation, share your feedback, and ask any questions you might have. So, see you in the Penpot community. Bye.
What do you think? I think it's super cool. I think we did the right thing sharing during this progress, because even if it's still early stages, it's it's good to see like that you can do that. You're able to not not have an issue with the existing projects, so be able to migrate that. I think the benefits of something like this, a plugin like this, is first, you can try out Penpot with your own work already there. Second, you can you can almost very easily translate the existing design systems, but also templates and libraries you built for Figma into Penpot. So if you are someone building templates and libraries on Figma, it should be easy for you to almost have like 90% of the work already there, just by that migration, and then share all that with the Penpot community. So we also think that is not only for kind of onboarding Penpot in an easier way, but also to have a ton of more content that already existed very, very easily moved into Penpot. So brutally honest here, this is of great interest to us as well as you, because you are demanding this so much. And if we had a ranking in terms of what you are asking for, I think the next one, again, is one of the top 3. So this is the plugin system. And for that, I'm being joined by Alonso. Hi, Alonso.
Hi.
So Alonso is actually wearing an official Penpot shirt, which I'm not. But this is a nice...
I'm on brand.
Exactly. Well, I have this one here. So Alonso is from the Penpot team, and he's part of the plugin system initiative. So a nice example here of how that is working out. So Alonso, really, this is your time to show a sneak peek onto the plugin system. So again, I'll be just in the background enjoying the super cool demo that you have ready for us.
Sure. Thank you, Pablo. So yeah, I'm very, very glad to finally show you probably the most requested feature in Penpot. It's the plugin system. So, well, here I'm in a development environment that we are working on still. And I want to show you by a little demo of 5 plugins we have done internally. Just a little taste of what is to come, no? But just to spark your imagination on what could the capabilities be. So, well, first of all, I've only installed 4 plugins, so I can show you how to install the 5th one. Let me here. So we have a new plugins manager here, and by putting a URL of the plugin, we can install this in Penpot. So here we have 5 plugins that I want to show you. So as I was telling you, this is just a taste, but we want the plugin system to have the capabilities of a user, no? So everything a user can do, a plugin should be able to do it as well. So, well, the first step is reading data. We have a contrast plugin that basically took 2 shapes. For example, I'm going to select these 2 ones. Gets their colors, their field colors, and tells you how compliant are with the accessibility standards. No, what's their contrast ratio, and if it's compliant or not with the accessibility standards. As you can see, red and green are not very cool matches, but probably black and white are very fine in terms of contrast. Other combination you can see, maybe red with, you see the ratio is changing. You can see white with green has a good ratio, but it's not complying with the AAA accessibility standards. No. So this is just a taste of how to read data from the selection to the field colors and the shape information. Well, the second capability is, of course, writing and creating shapes and data in Penpot. No, we have created a Lorem Ipsum plugin that creates text with the very famous Lorem Ipsum placeholder data. No, so we can just click here and generate, and you can see we have a very long text with the typical Lorem Ipsum dollar that everybody loves. But you can also have an existing text and change the text with, there are different configurations. For example, we can create like 5 sentences of the text. And as you can see, it replaces the text with the Lorem Ipsum data. And yeah, it keeps the style, so you don't lose the style you had it previously. And if you generate more, every time is different because it's starting in a different place of the Lorem Ipsum text. Cool. So now, one cool thing about the plugins system is that we can do things that we are not able to do in the core application. For example, integrate with third-party tools and libraries. It's not something that we will do inside the Penpot, but we have done a small plugin that integrates with Feathers. Feather is an icon library that it's open source and it's very cool. And we can easily add icons from this library using this plugin. This is also very convenient because if Feather updates, we need only to update the plugin. We don't need to import a new library, a new asset library, for example. So as you can see, I here have two icons already, but we are developing a video player, for example. So I need the forward button, a forward icon, and maybe a pause icon. Maybe I want a stop button as well. So for example, stop. These are not very good, but square, for example. Well, yeah, this will make. So you can see just with some clicks, I've done a small video player, small buttons. Cool. The next one, it's we wanted to demonstrate that we are using all the power of of our latest release. So this is a table creator that we have as a plugin. And this table creator uses the new grid layout that we've just released in Penpot 2.0. So for example, I can create a small 4x4 table. And you can see this all uses the grid layout. So I could potentially change the layout and if I resize the table, it's responsive to the content. But this plugin also has a nice feature that it's we can import a CSV file to add it to our design. So here I have a small table of my favorite Pokemons, and yeah, just like that, I've added this information into Penpot with the plugin system. Last but not least, it's not just a matter of accessing the workspace data. we have also our local library. And the last plugin, I'm going to use a plugin that reads all the colors that you have stored in your local library and creates a color palette. So just another thing with this plugin is that this plugin is just run once and doesn't have any UI. No, you can create this kind of plugins as well. So yeah, I will launch the plugin. Yeah, here you have every single color in my local library is displayed in a grid layout as well. So again, if we resize the palette, it will resize in a responsive way. So that's basically it for my demo. I hope you like it. We are very excited to bring this to you soon, soonish. Yeah, we are planning, in fact, in probably some weeks, having a testing environment so you can start creating your plugins and try it out.
Thank you very much, Alonso. I mean, this is mind-blowing. You went through a list of plugins as demonstrators of the capabilities of the plugin system itself. So it's more like to give examples, but the plugins themselves are also super cool. There's some people picking their favorites, and they will be nice templates for people to just kind of fork and say, okay, I want to integrate something with a third party. Okay, perhaps I will using the feathers icons, or so there will be interesting blueprints there for people to just kind of fork and create their own plugins. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alonso. Thank you very much for the plugin system initiative, and we'll wait for that playground environment very soon. Okay, so we are running out of time actually, and we want to have some time for questions. So, but I still wanted to address a very relevant topic, not just because it's part of one of the initiatives, the AI initiatives, but also because I want to share how we're building this and the complexity of it. So both. So let's do this very quickly. I'm sharing my window, my screen again. No, not that one. Probably. Let me just. This is this one. So this is the one. So first of all, I've seen some in the comments saying, please make AI opt-in. Absolutely. Whether you want to share your material so that eventually it belongs to the open source data training data set, or whether you want to use it or not, completely up to you. But most importantly, all of it is going to be open source. The models, the technology, everything. We don't want to rely on anything that is not open source, that is not voluntarily given. And if it takes longer time to develop something cool, which honestly we think that won't be the case, but even if it's what happens, we think it's the right choice and it's the right path, and that's fine by us. So rest assured, this is very important that we're taking this very seriously. Having said that, I also want to share how complex this challenge is. So here, the structure here, the semantics, all of this is relevant, how things are nested, how things are structured, and the semantic of it, is this a text, and what is the name of the label? All of that is relevant. This is not the single source of truth, but it's a very important element of any generative AI approach that we take. Then the visual rendering is also fundamental to understand visually how this structure here is translated, because from here you can go back and refactor and change the nesting, the structure, even the semantics. Why not change the text for a shape, perhaps? So depending on the visual rendering, you might want to impact something as the left pane side. But then we have the code, which, as you know, with Penpot is a direct representation of both the UI, the design, and also the structure here. So all three things intertwine are this very complex multi-model AI challenge that we need to get right. But if this is already blowing up your mind, like, okay, so this is very complex. It is very complex. It hasn't been done and needs a ton of research. I also want to share you that this gets more complicated when you think that part of these elements are actually components and live elsewhere, live in the assets library. So there is pointers here going to some reusable elements. And we have, by the way, very nice documentation, visual documentation on how the new component system works. So this is how a simple component is understood by the user, and also the dump tree, a simplified representation, and also a 3D kind of isometric view of how this works. This looks nice, but then it gets complicated because, of course, when you have a copy of that main component, how that is represented in Penpot, and then when you have a nested copy, that gets crazy, and then you have a swap copy within a component. All of this, by the way, if you find this inspiring on how you are structuring your own architecture, things like that, or you're just curious about how Penpot is building all this, feel free to check this documentation. It's just an open prototype, of course, using Penpot. So it is both the ethics, the multimodal, and also the specific challenges about reusable components that we have to blend together in a perfect meet. So this is meaningful, useful for everyone, and we do things right. All right, that was fast, but that was needed before we wrap up and have some times for Q&A. So I'm happy this is live, and I mean you can it's very obvious how this is going, and I'm happy to take some Q&A. I did have some questions from people over the past few weeks because we were asking, hey, if you want something to be asked, just let us know so we can have some warm-up questions. But if there are already questions in the comments, live, we can do that. So thank you, Eva. Eva from the Penpot team, part of the end-to-end front-end initiative, front-end test initiative. Yeah, it's true. This is May 30th, and this is my birthday. Thank you very much for saying that. What a I couldn't think of a better celebration to do a live stream when it's my birthday. So thank you very much. Now this really sounds super cool to be doing this. It feels like it's part of the birthday in a way. Okay, so BlockSonic asks, what's the progress on component variants? That's an initiative within the Components Epic initiative. And I think that is going to be started in a few weeks. This is not considered to be a massive undertaking. So if I look at like the spreadsheets where we see the different initiatives, this is not massive. And that's why we can wait a little bit so that first, we finalize some tidying up of the component system, which is it's underway. And when we have that, then we will be ready. I mean, you just saw the documentation. Like that is something that needs to be like perfectly addressed first, and then we will be ready to start that. So, but it's going to be in a few months. So it's not like next year or anything like that. This is in the pipeline, and this is a top priority because we know a lot of you really needs to go beyond like swapping and things and have variants. But since we were building the foundational model for components, we are seeing this as not a trivial task, but relatively within reach. So very soon. This is an open source product, and we are not planning to price tokens at all. We do have plans in terms of how to get some revenue for the project, and I can share a bit of that, but definitely not. It's not going to be related to tokens. So so let me perhaps use that question to comment on the fact that we'll at some point later this year or early next year, the SaaS platform Penpot will have some threshold in terms of storage. So if you go beyond certain storage limit, you will have to pay. We don't care really about number of seats or projects. It's about just some very easy to understand resource that you're using because we're paying for that. And also if you are using self-host on-premise Penpot, there will be a certified build for enterprises to be like super comfortable with what they are deploying locally, and that specific certification and service will have a cost. But in terms of like pricing of tokens, First time I even considered that could be a thing, but I would right away say that is not going to be the case. We always think that the power user, and the more you use Penpot, fine. There shouldn't be like a limit there in your creativity, and then put out like a price cap or something, and then you have to pay for that. I hope I addressed the question the right way. But thanks, Picorems. To understand, are you working on native apps that will take advantage of more computing power than browser apps? What else are you doing to make the app lag less? Yes, so the reality is that there's actually one browser. Like if you wanted to try out Penpot, unfortunately, there's one browser that is the most performant, but like very obviously, which is Chrome. And then we have the rest, which is okay, but it's the best experience you get from Chrome. But even with Chrome, we need to keep improving on terms of performance. There are many things that we can do to address that, like having both a hybrid approach to SVG rendering, native browser SVG rendering, and canvas approach. So we are working on that. But we don't think that the answer lies in necessarily native apps. There's actually a community contribution, the Penpot desktop app, using Electron.js to do that, and it's not the most performant. So there are, I think, the way to get like Penpot not only to have the best UI hands down across the competition, but also the most performant, is to just continue to re-engineer the internals. We want to have this browser-based platform as fast as possible, so that we have a fully accessible tool for anyone, regardless of the operating system that they're using. Having said that, there are efforts to have desktop-like offline experience, and actually we'll be announcing very soon that we are happy to receive applications to continue the amazing work by Corpse. The community contributor actually builds Penpot desktop app. So just watch the space, watch the community Penpot app space, because we will be kind of asking for people to take on that amazing work. But it's more on there's a lot of room for improvement without going the desktop app approach. We know that. But thanks to the end. I mean, we keep this is part of the quality of life also. So we have two initiatives. One is the quality of life, which is about the best UX UI experience in terms of the not buggy and going like super smooth. But then we have the performance initiative. Soon, we have the text editing performance improvement, and that is midway, I think. So it should be relatively soon. But I think there's a release being ready. So probably in a month or 2 months, there will be some important performance improvements. So on topic. I see that question being on topic. And this is, rest assured, this is when people say, hey, you should focus on performance before you get onto new features. We say we can have both. We can keep innovating and building new features and new capabilities to Penpot, because we are also addressing the performance. But we don't want to go all in with performance, because there's also things that we want to prove to the world that are super cool to have in an open source design and prototyping tool. And we have this hybrid approach, and I think it's working great. 2.0 actually had both improvements in performance, but also cool things like Grid CSS Layout. So think of it like that. But it's that is why we have the initiative system, so we can roll out these improvements faster, and instead of having like 8 months to wait to have a new release. Okay, any more questions? That's it, we finished. I'm just looking at the internal chat. Are we okay? Any more questions? No? Paula says okay. Okay, so we're wrapping up. Thank you very much, everyone. Particularly, Mike, Alonso, Alejandro from RAM Room, Carol, that helped us also provide a lot of content here. I hope you enjoy this. This is just a sneak peek on what we're building. We wanted to have a bit of a review on 2.0, then content and resources, and how you can help us continue to build this amazing community. And finally, very tangible sneak peeks on what we're building right now. So thank you very much, everyone, to attending this very weird third party that I'm having right now with all of you. And see you next time. See you soon. Let's continue to have these conversations about open source and design elsewhere. Thank you. Bye-bye.